to get, it's time to get, it's time to get up. Yeah. It's time to get moving. It's time to get up. Yeah. It's time to get moving. Hey.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Listen, I need to talk about something real quick because I know I am not alone in this. Having young adult kids is a scam. It's a scam. Now, they think that they are so grown. They walk around talking about, I'm an adult now. I'm an adult now. I'm over 18. Oh, you an adult? But you still on my Netflix, my Hulu, my cell phone plan. How you an adult, but your whole life is on family share? I got questions. My kid hit me up the other day talking about, Mom, I'm grown now. You going to have to respect me as an adult. I said, oh, okay, Mr. Grown Man. And then why my phone ringing with a bill in your name? All this respect. You real grown until T-Mobile starts sending threats, huh? Now you suddenly a child again. See, these kids, they want all the adult privileges, but none of the responsibilities. They got grown opinions, grown attitudes, grown under armpits. That would be musty. Grown conversations, but no grown money. I asked my son, oh, so you got the rent? He said, well, see, Ma, rent is a social construct. I said, oh, so is your phone plan. We could deconstruct that real quick. And what kills me, they be the ones judging us. My son saw me struggling to send a text the other day talking about, wow, you type that slow? Dang, man, you getting old. Sir, again, you are typing fast on my phone bill. This is my phone, okay? If I want to, I can afford to. You can't afford to. And when you threaten to take them off the plan, oh, that's when they get real humble. But, Ma, I was just thinking, families should really stick together, we got to support each other in these tough economic times. Oh, now it's a tough economy. 2 days ago, you was a full adult with a podcast on generational wealth, but now it's a tough economy. Oh, okay. Listen, I'm done with arguing. You think you want to be grown? Okay, you going to be independent? Cool. You pay all your bills. Matter of fact, starting with this cell phone, because it's on my nerves, let me help you. I told my son, I'm about to call the cell phone company right now. Go ahead and separate this line, because he grown. What's the reason? Respect. Y'all, we got coffee talks coming up, and we got this time next year. Really excited about today's guest because I got one of my colleagues from the university that's going to talk about helping us make sure that these kids can pay these phone bills, okay? So don't go anywhere unless you're going to go get some coffee, but meet me right back here. There's more laughing in the morning. What's up, y'all? My name is Allison. I am an entrepreneur. I am Virginia's comedian. I am the coolest cornball you are going to ever meet. You're welcome. And I am everybody's hype girl. Hey, you get a hype. Everybody gets a hype. Your granddaddy get a hype. Listen, everybody deserves a hype. I am hyping you up with affirmations that set your intention and my intention for the day. Today's Coffee Talk is sponsored by Black Please Coffee because black is a powerful preference. This morning, I think we may need a little extra hyping. I know you have more to give. I got more to give, okay? In case there's anyone who is laying low and hasn't really been performing, this one is for you. Now, this is a safe space, okay? I don't want to tussle with anybody. I am not judging because let's be real, some days everybody has a it is what it is type of day. We just give only enough effort to get by. We do barely the minimum. We keep our heads down and just exist. It happens to the best of us. And sure, that keeps things from falling apart or may keep us that moment for being all right, but actually, does it move us forward? Nah. It's like tipping over a few dominoes. It moves a little bit, but not much. That would be my demonstration. Did you see the demonstration? That's a little bit of effort, y'all. It moved, it did something, but not much. But when we show up and we give everything we got, when we push ourselves to operate at our highest capacity, that's when we create momentum that lasts. That's when we go from a tiny push with just a few spurts, a little impact, that's it, to a powerful ripple effect that changes everything. You see, I got that side. Hold on for a second. I didn't know if my dominoes was going to go down. Did you see me? I got a little stuck. I was like, wait a minute, dominoes, don't you let me down. But you get it. Because you know I got to have a visual. This row of dominoes, this is what happens when you have only a little bit of effort. You barely knock stuff down. You barely make any moves. Maybe you wake up. You do barely the minimum, just enough to get not fired at work, right? Barely whatever at the house. That it's a barely. Then on this side, when we push this down, it was a whole lot more. It was a lot more to work with. The momentum pushed up. Listen, effort creates movement. So I will push myself to operate at my highest capacity. All right, come on. Say it with me, y'all. Say this one from our chest. Today, I will push myself to operate at my highest capacity. That's what we're doing today. Today is a new opportunity to show up fully. Not halfway, not just enough. Go all in. Even if you don't like those people, that space, the situation, do it for you, not for them. Set those dominoes up right, give them that powerful push, and watch how your energy spreads, and it works for your good. Listen, if this hit home for you, will you please hit us up on our website, drop in our comments on YouTube, on social media. Let us know. How are you feeling this coffee talk? And don't forget, please share some more laughing with someone you know, someone who needs to be hyped up in this season. Why? Because everybody, I don't know what this is, but that's my hype song. I got to give me a hype song for real. Okay, listen, I will see you all next time on Coffee Talk, where we set our intentions and start strong during the day. But coming up, we have this time next year. And this time is for the parents, the grandparents, the aunties, the uncles, youth leaders, educators, anybody who really cares about our young adults. Just because they turn 18, y'all know that doesn't mean that our job is done, right? Can we talk about it? Talk about it. Baby, I'm going to bust out in the karaoke. Okay. It doesn't mean that we can cut them off. It means that the questions get harder, the bills get bigger, the advice gets ignored, because they're going to ignore the advice until they need something. But how do we actually support our kids as they transition from college or from high school to a career, to the workforce, without doing too much or too little? That's a tease for this time next year. Today's guest knows all about guiding the next generation. Are we still pushing ourselves to operate our highest capacity? I hope so. And being there for the next generation is certainly one way to do it. So more laughing in the morning, right back after the break. Today's guest is Alice Jones. She has a beautiful, wide-ranging career that includes her being a longtime educator in colleges and universities. She's a fellow colleague of mine at Virginia Wesleyan College in Virginia Beach. She's had years of experience working with the emerging generation. And since my children, nephews, and nieces are now young adults, I realize that I am never going to get out of debt. Ever. Golly. I am also realizing that mothering never ends. It just shifts. I've asked Alice to join us today to talk about ways that we as mothers, fathers, grandparents, community can help our young people who are in college and those who are transitioning into the workforce. If helping your children get out of your house by this time next year, I'm just kidding, hold up, I'm just kidding. If helping them start their adult years successfully is a goal of yours, baby, this interview is for you. Thank you to our sponsors, Virginia Wesleyan, and please welcome Alice Jones. Alice, hold on, give it a minute. Let the laugh track. Let the audience laugh track. You gotta hear it.
Okay. I can hear it.
You can hear it? Welcome. Glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Yay. Okay, so Alice, we got to get right into it because you and I connected over you helping me with my first cohort of interns that
Yes.
help us out here at More Laughing Enterprises with our show. And so I'm talking to you and you giving me stuff. I'm like, oh, shoot, this is good. Girl, help me parent these kids. Like, wait a minute. I didn't even think of these jokers like this. You're right. They are going to this next level professionally. I should probably help them. I cut them off at 17 and a half. I was like, we good, right? And I remember when we were in our office and I'm like, tell me some things that parents should not do. Do you remember this? You were, that the parents should not do with their young adults.
Yes.
And what did you say?
They should not go to interviews with them. People do it.
She said they should not go to interviews. I'm like, why are you stepping on my toes, Alice? What you mean I can't drive my baby to the interview and walk them in there just make sure I can read the manager?
You can drive them, but just wait in the car.
Okay, all right. Alice, oh my gosh. So can you do me a favor, please? Can you, so that we can do a level set and the audience can understand what you bring in here to the show.
Okay.
Tell a little bit about, your background, your experience in this space, and help us to prepare our people who we're leading.
Are really needing it. So I have a background in higher education. As you said, my undergraduate's in math education. I have a master's in higher education. I like school. Another master's in lifespan and digital communication. So that gets all across all the ages. And then I've been working at universities for 20 plus years.
Would you start working when you were 3?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I was super smart. Super smart.
Okay, period. All right, so you've been in universities, so, the young people or the emerging generation or whoever is the ones, they've been your thing. You're a subject expert of them.
And I have 4 kids.
And you got 4 kids. Oh, yeah, you the real deal. You want to just keep going, huh? It happens. It happens. Who am I to judge, right? All right, so Alice, get me together, get me informed. I'm thinking about, our audience who has a heart for the young adults and or they got kids or, family members. What are some things like that we should be thinking about? How do we shift from them being our kids to like, oh, shoot, you really entering into society and I need to support you. I know me personally, I definitely made a lot of mistakes in my professional journey in the beginning because I didn't have that coaching. I didn't have that direction. So I came in my youthfulness, which got me in a lot of trouble. So help me to make sure that I don't allow my kids to, what should I be looking for? Talk to me a little bit.
I think that, one of the things that's really important when you're working with young people is to listen. And I think a lot of times as parents, we think we know because we've been there and we've done it, but we haven't done it now and we haven't done it in this experience that they're having. So we have to really listen to them a little bit. And I think that one of the things that I've seen across these years of working with students is that they know what they need to do. They just sometimes need that little push or that cheerleader to get them doing what they need to do. I think listening, encouraging them to use the resources that are available to them. And even if they don't know, then help them figure out what is it that's there that they can use to help them.
Alice, this is it seems at face value, oh, listen, but it's like, wait, actually, I don't listen to them. I'm sitting there thinking I don't think I know how my kids sound. I don't think I listened to them in the last 4 years. Do they talk? I do the talking. What are you talking for? I pay the bills, I talk. But you're right, this is probably a good season where I could be shifted and you should speak. Listening to them because I guess they do know what they need or at least where they're at.
Or sometimes that listening comes with asking questions instead of giving, you should do this, but rather, what are you thinking about this major, do you have a plan? Where are you trying to go? What do you want to do? And then they might say, I don't know, I have no idea. So then it's another question instead of you should do this. It's well, how do you how can we figure out, how can we work together to get you where you need to be, or how can we work together to get you the information that you need to make a good decision.
This is for me. Yeah. So shout out to the More Laughing team, side note, because our director of marketing, Shekinah, and we were literally just talking about her approach of asking questions to help me realize how I ain't think through a whole lot of stuff. So she was like, I'm going to just ask you a question. Now here you go saying, so here is the theme here, and I'm going to put this into practice. But I'm also thinking while you're talking too, like, I can imagine it's probably pretty empowering as well to these young people who are like, oh, you asked me. Wow, you want my insight, you know? So this is helpful because you're really helping me to shift, because I do recognize there's opportunity for me to look at my grown children like the growner, becoming grown people that they are. And so I'm like, there we go. So when we think about them, all right, so right now I have 2 in college. Hold on now, don't you get nervous, Mr. Willis. Shout out to my who was like, oh, she's so young. I am young. I adopted these kids, okay? They my siblings. Yeah, they my siblings. That's better. Okay, so I have 2 children that are in college, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, and they do work for me. They do some interning in the business too. One of them works in the coffee business, and the other one in our finances and stuff. And I'm like, put this in the spreadsheet. They like, the what? I'm like, okay. I recognize that we are working from home, but you don't have the skill set. They would not have survived in the same environment that I barely survived in 20 years ago. How do we start helping them transition or get that mindset or the exposure, especially if that's not the norm for them?
Right. And I think there's a big push now for students to gain experience, whether it be internships, part-time jobs, working with their mom in their business, or whatever it is. I think that that's really important, and a lot of schools are now, and the state is putting things in place. They're working on like projects and opportunities to create more internships, or we're calling it work-based learning experiences across the state. I think that it's also important if you think about what happens in school or in their classes. They're more project-based learning. One of the things that we did at Virginia Wesleyan this past summer was we had a teamship experience where students worked together in a team to solve a real problem for organization. And that was really eye-opening for a lot of them, because it was a good opportunity for them to meet other people, to work on something real for an employer or for a company, and present.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So many thoughts to follow-ups to that. When I'm thinking about, because we're talking about the students that are in college, but then there obviously are quite a few. Everybody didn't go to school, but they got to get a job, and y'all want them up out your house. Am I right? So how do we start supporting those young people or teenagers with, like, you got to be thinking about the future professionally? At what point are we pressing them? We ask them when they're 3, what you want to be when you grow up? When they're 8, what you want to be when they grow up? I'm just figuring it out. I think I just figured out yesterday what I want to be. So how do we help shape them, especially those who are not in college, where college is helping to shape them?
I think looking at what their strengths are, and I think a lot of times people don't, they don't talk to, I remember nobody talked to me about, like, what are you really good at? They just said, you're going to do this. You're good at that. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm good at math. I'm good at science. Okay, I'm going to study computer science. No, I was terrible at it because my brain didn't work that way. But nobody really got me to look at myself and how, whatever, these are my strengths, but they might not be strengths that I want to use. And so I think, like, from schools doing parent-teacher nights and career days and all these things, those are opportunities for us as parents to start asking, like, where are my children excelling, or what are they really good at, or
Okay.
what do they struggle with, but also taking them to those experiences. And even in colleges, we do career fairs. We're having, actually coming up next week, 3 nights of Career Connect, we're calling it, where we're bringing employers, we're bringing alumni, we're bringing faculty to talk to students about different career fields so they can start to make those connections. I think even high school students and middle school students should start early, like going to things or listening to things or talking to people about what they do, because that's the only way that you can
Get them
really
out your
get it.
house. Oh.
Maybe, yeah. It gets them out of the house, but it also gives them like lots of information.
Mm-hmm. This is okay, Alice. Thank you. I'm gonna be all right, y'all. This time next year with my children, y'all are gonna be so proud. All right, so when I am thinking about Virginia Wesleyan, right? Bringing it back to Virginia Wesleyan. So Alice and I are colleagues. I facilitate, period. Yes, twin, get into it. We should have Virginia Wesleyan mugs. We'll do that when we have you back. So I facilitate public speaking workshop. That's one of the courses that I facilitate, but it's not for the accredited classes for traditional students. It's professional development in the evenings. And this is actually a program that's free and open to the community. But you are on the other side of school doing other things. I'm on global campus. Your world is totally different. We barely get to talk. So come on, let's ask her what they got going on over there. So like, what kind of things are you doing on your side? What are you involved in? What's exciting?
What are we doing? Lots of things. We stay really busy. We meet with students individually to talk to them through these processes. The Career Connect series, we're doing that. We're working with faculty and going to classes. Oh, your list
still going? Oh, you still going?
Still going. Still going. There's all kinds of stuff going.
Wow.
We're busy.
So you all, I love that, because I did feel like, now part of it was me, but when I was in undergraduate, I did not have a connection or a relationship with the career such and such, piece. I was fortunate enough to get an internship at Norfolk Southern, but it was not because I went in through the school. So I'm really excited about like how engaged you all are at Virginia Wesleyan, because I think that is an important part of why we're sending our kids to school.
Yes,
to help
you want them to get a job.
I want them to get a job. I want them to kind of skip some of maybe the levels that they would have had to take and the route that they have to take without that education. I believe that the education is not just the education, but it's also the experience. Like I tell my kids all the time, go find you a friend with a boat. You on campus with a kid. In the neighborhood that I had y'all raised up in, we ain't had no boats. But go find you a friend that's, different than you. Get some exposure, travel during spring break, learn some things. But I also, again, I know that everyone's students are not in school. And so some of my nieces, nephews, they're not. And I always try to think about them. How do we, and I guess the same rules apply then, huh? If you have a teenager, a young adult, still tell them to go to the job fairs in the community?
Yes, and places like the Workforce Council have internship program in the summer where they're paid opportunities. They do career fairs and inviting employers. So they have summer camp-ish type things that students can do when they're in high school. And even things like, are there volunteer opportunities where students can gain some experience and explore? It doesn't have to be paid. Paid is always nice, but volunteering can be good too.
Okay, well, let's get us together. For the young people that's watching, for all 6 of y'all, Auntie Alice is helping us out here, okay? And for the community that's like me, that we're trying to get these kids up out of our house, but we want to make sure that we help position them for success so they're not getting fired on their first career job. This is my story. This ain't gonna, I don't mean to project. My bad. I don't mean to project. I think that was really helpful. Like, we're shifting our brain by this time next year to help our students be more prepared to enter the workforce, to be these fantastic adults and citizens that we know that they can be, because we need them.
We need them.
Have you turned on the news lately? Have we seen the streets? Okay. Alice, before you go, what did I leave out? What is something that you also think would be helpful to this conversation? Let's put a little button on it, make it cute and classy.
A little button, cute and classy. One of the things I think we didn't talk about is maybe looking at the process.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a job is going to fall in my lap. I think that was one of the questions you sent me about.
Oh,
like,
yeah, the questions. Why
what-
she had to call me out about the questions?
what-
Because I ain't read the
what are
questions.
the
Alice, why
things-
you got to call me out? Because I ain't got a cue card.
That's okay.
I
What
will.
are the things that you know, are important to think about and consider? And I think one of the things I wrote down in my notes was finding a job is a job. It's not like you get your degree or you finish high school and people are going to be just like falling at your feet like, here's a job for you. It's really competitive now. And so you have to do everything you can do. Good grades aren't enough. Like, you can't, just because I'm a straight A student, that doesn't mean that I'm going to get a job. You have to work at it.
Well, you know what? Thank you. These kids got to work at it. And I'm going to send mine to you. I am really thankful that you are at Virginia Wesleyan because you're helping them. And you got me some fantastic interns, so I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Alice, thank you for stopping by the show. And as we grow, I'm going to have you come back and get, let's hone in on ways that we can support this generation because they're important to me. And somebody got to wipe my butt when I get older. Okay, all right. And listen, don't go anywhere because we got a little bit more laughing after the break, okay? This is good. Thank you. Thank you. Round of applause for Alice. And we will be right back with some more Laughing in the Morning show with Allison the Comedian and friends.
Searching for higher education, a supportive network, and a place to make lifelong friendships? Say hello to Virginia Wesleyan University in Virginia Beach. Virginia Wesleyan is a must-see. To schedule a campus tour, go to vwu.edu/.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of More Laughing in the Morning show. We laughed, we learned, and we got real about the journey of young adults and getting them out of our house and with jobs. That's not it. That was not on the teleprompter, y'all, but we had a great time. A big thank you to Alice Jones for stopping by and really helping us to shift our perspective and be thoughtful about how we support this generation. A big thank you also to our title sponsor, Virginia Wesleyan, for backing these important conversations. Shout out to More Laughing On Set Gang for bringing the energy, the Sky 4 production crew for keeping us looking sharp, and of course, the More Laughing OGs. Listen, y'all better be my original gigglers. Started from the bottom, now we here. You all are the heart of this show. I appreciate you. Okay, everybody, keep pushing forward. Keep growing. And never forget to keep laughing. I know it's rough out here in these streets. Keep your head up high, smile, and meet me in the mornings, weekdays, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. I will see you next time. I'm Allison the Comedian. We cueing the music. Where's Alice? Come on, Alice, time to dance.